I stood at midnight burials where destinies were exchanged like money. What I'm about to say is not a story, it was what I did with my own hands. This is my confessions. I never thought I would speak about this openly. Many secrets are protected by fear. Many who know these things keep silent because they are still bound. But I am no longer there. I served in the kingdom of darkness for many years. I operated in different foreign lands, in cold cities where people trust science more than spirit, in rich countries where power is hidden behind luxury, and in quiet islands where midnight rituals are never questioned. What I reveal now are operations we carried out at midnight burial grounds, and I was one of them. Midnight burial is not about the dead, it is about the living. When most people hear burial, they think someone has died. But in the kingdom I served, burial means something else. It means taking a living person's destiny, health, marriage, or future, and burying it spiritually. It is an exchange, a transfer, a removal. These operations always happen between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. That is the hour when human resistance is lowest. The spirit is weak, the body is asleep, protection is thin. We worked in groups, no one operated alone. We gathered in hidden places, sometimes forests outside foreign countries, sometimes underground chambers, sometimes abandoned buildings. The environment must be quiet, controlled, and sealed. Then the target is presented, not physically, spiritually. A representation of the person appears, sometimes an image, sometimes a cloth connected to them, sometimes their hair, sometimes just their name written with a specific ritual. Then we bury something that represents their life, and from that moment, their life begins to change. I remember a young man living in a wealthy foreign country. He was rising fast in his career. He was intelligent, disciplined, and successful. Nothing could stop his progress. But his family line was marked. We were assigned to stop him. At midnight, we performed a burial operation. His star was symbolically removed and buried under the ground. We sealed his favor and exchanged it with another. Within 3 months, everything changed. He lost his job unexpectedly. His investment collapsed. His friend turned against him. He became confused and depressed. Doctors found nothing wrong. He did not know his destiny has been buried. I watched it again, and I felt nothing at that time. There was also a woman living in a foreign city by the ocean. She was beautiful, kind, and successful. Many men loved her, but she was targeted because of jealousy. During the midnight burial, we buried her marriage covenant. A spiritual ring was removed from her destiny and sealed inside the ground. After that night, every relationship failed mysteriously. Men would love her deeply at first, then suddenly hate her. Engagements broke without reason. Suitors disappeared. She cried many nights asking why her life was like this. I was part of the operation that caused her pain. Her tears did not stop us then. A small child, the parents were doing well financially in a foreign nation. They were happy. Their progress threatened certain powers. So we targeted their joy, their child. During midnight burial, we buried the child's health. We exchanged strength for weakness. After the ritual, the child began falling sick repeatedly. Doctors could not explain the condition. Hospitals became their second home. Money was drained. Peace disappeared. I watched the parents cry in confusion, and I knew why, but I stayed silent. People think attack happens randomly. No, targets are chosen carefully. We monitored people through spiritual surveillance. We checked family lines, weakness, spoken words, fears, and moments of vulnerability. Sometimes a simple statement like, "I am tired of this life," gives legal access. We also use objects people touched, clothing, pictures, food remains, and handwriting. Nothing was small. Everything was access. Once access was granted, midnight burial could begin. What happens during the burial? The process is systematic. First, the person's spiritual identity is called. Second, their destiny is isolated. Third, something representing their life is buried. Fourth, an exchange is made. Finally, the operation is sealed. After sealing, reversal becomes difficult. Not impossible, but difficult. We celebrate our successful burials because they increase our rank and authority. Promotions in darkness come from successful destruction. I received many promotions, and that is why my guilt is heavy. Even while serving, I began noticing something. Some targets recovered, some burials failed. Sometimes we will bury a person's destiny, yet the person would suddenly become stronger. Our rituals would scatter, our operations would collapse. There was a force we could not control. Whenever that force appeared, fear entered us. I began questioning everything. But questioning is dangerous in that kingdom. Very dangerous. One midnight, during a burial operation in a cold foreign region, we attempted to bury the destiny of a man who constantly prayed. We followed the process. We spoke the words. We performed the exchange. But the ground rejected the burial. The ritual circle broke. The spiritual environment became unstable. Something interrupted us violently. That night was the first time I felt terror from the system I once trusted, and that was the beginning of my escape. The ground refused to close. We tried again. The leader commanded us to increase the power of the ritual. We repeated the chant. We strengthened the circle. We called higher authorities in the kingdom. A force pushed against us. Something we could not see scattered the entire operation. That was the first time I saw senior members afraid. Real fear. Not the fear we used to control people, but the fear of defeat. The target we were trying to bury was protected by constant prayer. His spiritual covering was too strong. Every attempt to bury his destiny failed. That night, something followed me home. After the operation, I began seeing disturbing things. I would hear voices calling my name at midnight. I would see shadows moving without bodies. I would feel hands touching me when no one was there. Sleep disappeared. Peace disappeared. The same fear we gave others began visiting me. In the kingdom of darkness, when you begin to question or weaken, you become a liability, and liabilities are removed. I knew I was being watched. I knew my time inside was ending. Before my exit, I participated in one last major operation. A businessman living in a large foreign city. He was extremely wealthy and influential, but he refused to join certain hidden systems controlling his industry. So he was marked. During midnight burial, we buried his financial flow. His wealth was sealed spiritually under the ground and redirected elsewhere. Within months, his companies began collapsing. Trusted partners betrayed him. Strange lawsuits appeared. Money vanished mysteriously. He became poor in less than 2 years. I saw how we destroyed his life piece by piece, and something inside me broke. Another operation involved a peaceful married couple living abroad. Their love was strong. Their unity was powerful. Their home was full of joy. Unity creates protection, so we were assigned to break them. During the midnight burial, we buried their love and planted division. We sealed misunderstanding into their hearts. After the ritual, they began arguing daily. Suspicion grew without reason. Bitterness replaced affection. Eventually, they divorced. 2 lives destroyed. A family scattered. And I helped cause it. Even now, remembering this fills me with pain. I later understood something shocking. Midnight burial is not just about individual. It is about controlling generations. When a person's destiny is buried, their children are affected, their future is weakened, their bloodline suffers limitation. It is a long-term system of control. We buried success, we buried marriages, we buried health, we buried children yet to be born. Entire family trees were targeted, and the world calls it coincidence. Many victims unknowingly gave permission. Hatred, unforgiveness, fear, constant negative words, occult practices disguised as entertainment, certain spiritual objects accepted without understanding. These things create openings. Once access exits, operation becomes easy. People think protection is automatic, but it is not. Nothing in that kingdom is free. Every power requires sacrifice. Every promotion requires proof of destruction. We were trained to suppress emotions completely. Compassion was seen as weakness. Mercy was forbidden. I remember being told, "Your heart must become stone." And for many years, mine did. But something inside me refused to die completely. A small voice kept questioning. A small light remained. One night, after another operation, I returned home and looked at my hands. I suddenly saw blood, not physical blood, but spiritual. I saw the pain of those we attacked. I heard their cries. I felt their suffering. I could not breathe. For the first time, guilt entered me. I realized I was destroying innocent lives. That realization shook my entire existence. But living the kingdom of darkness is not simple. No one lives freely. When the system sensed my hesitation, pressure increased. Nightmares intensified. Threatening visions appeared. Strange illness attacked my body. Fear surrounded me constantly. They tried to pull me deeper. They showed me the consequences of betrayal. I was warned that anyone who attempted to live would lose everything: family, health, sanity, life. Many who tried before me disappeared. I knew the risk, but I also knew I could not continue. In desperation, I called the name of Jesus. Not loudly, not confidently, just a whisper. But something happened immediately. The atmosphere around me changed. The fear reduced. The voices stopped for a moment. I was shocked. The kingdom myself feared that name. I had seen operation fail because of it. I had watched rituals collapse because of it. But I never expected it would respond to me, a former servant of darkness. After that moment, intense spiritual battles began. The system trying to reclaim me. Attack increased. Pressure intensified. Dark forces called in dreams demanding my return. But every time I called on Jesus, something defended me. I began understanding that power with fear was real, not symbolic, real authority, real protection, and that discovery changed everything. There are hidden operations still happening at every midnight. Burials taking places while people sleep. Destinies being exchanged silently. Lives being altered without physical contact. Many successful people you see today rose because someone else's destiny was buried. Many struggles people face started from operations they never knew existed. The system survives because people remain ignorant. Silence protects it, fear protects it, secrecy protects it, but truth exposes it. Before I escaped completely, I was shown deeper structure of the kingdom. There are ranks. There are territories assigned to control specific region of the world. There are monitoring systems observing human behavior constantly. Nothing is random. Everything is organized. Midnight burial is only one operation among many, and that exists at higher levels is far more terrifying. Before I escaped completely, I was shown deeper structure of the kingdom. At the highest level, decisions are made about nations, leaders, industries, and global events. Certain individuals are positioned for influence. Certain families are preserved for control. Certain bloodlines are monitored for generations. I saw records, detailed records, files containing names, family histories, spiritual weakness, An assigned operation. Some people were marked from birth because of the power attached to their future. Destiny is tracked. Potential is monitored. Threats are eliminated early. This is why sometimes a child with great promise suddenly develops strange limitations. This is why some people experience constant delay no matter how hard they try. Many battles begin before a person even understands life. One of the darkest secrets is the exchange system. Nothing is simply destroyed. It was transferred. If someone's success is buried, it is given to another. If someone's health is taken, another receives strength. If someone's favor is sealed, another gains opportunity. That is why we celebrated burial operations. They strengthened our network and rewarded loyal servants. But every exchange creates suffering somewhere. I helped perform many of these transfers, and the weight of that knowledge still follows me. As my resistance grew, the leader demanded proof of my loyalty. They gave me a new assignment. I was ordered to carry out a midnight burial against someone very close to me, someone I cared about deeply. It was a test. If I refused, I would be destroyed. If I obeyed, my heart would be sealed permanently. That night, I stood at the burial ground, holding the ritual objects. My hands trembled. For the first time in many years, I refused, and that refusal marked my death in the system. From that moment, I became a target. The same forces I once commanded began hurting me. Attack came every night. My body became weak. My mind was filled with fear. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I understood what many victims had experienced. The suffering I once caused was now returning to me. I realized there were only one escape: complete separation, complete surrender. One night, in total desperation, I cried out to Jesus Christ with everything inside me. Not a whisper this time, a desperate cry. Something powerful happened. A presence filled the room. The fear broke instantly. The heavy darkness lifted. It felt like chains breaking from my body. I cannot fully explain what happened that night, but I know I was released. The spiritual contracts were broken. The system lost its hold over me. The attack stopped. The voice disappeared. For the first time in many years, I experienced peace. Real peace. Living the kingdom of darkness is not a simple decision. It is a war. It requires surrender of everything: power, rank, influence, and identity. Many never leave because the price seemed too high. But I learned something. The power that rescues is greater than the power that binds. I am a living proof. I speak because many people are suffering without understanding why. Many strange problems are not ordinary. Many repeated failures are not accidental. Many midnight battles are real. I also speak because those still inside the system believe no one escapes. That is a lie. Freedom is possible. Light overcomes darkness. Truth destroys secrecy. Midnight burial is real. Destinies are targeted. Lives are altered. Generations are affected. But burial is not final. What is buried can be restored. What is sealed can be opened. And what is taken can be returned. I once helped bury people's future. Now I speak so those future can be recovered. There are still operations happening tonight. There are still hidden rituals. There are still secrets the system protects. But the greatest secrecy that fear is this: darkness does not have the final authority. I know this because I lived inside this, and I walked out alive.